Hello there everybody, it is me XfreezerBunny and welcome back to another Sims 4 speed build. So today we are in the beautiful world of Copperdale and we are building this tiny Scandinavian inspired lakeside cottage. So if you couldn't already tell, this is a heated rivalry inspired build. I did film this about a month ago when heated rivalry was still fresh in my mind. It still kind of is because it's heated rivalry. You know, it's living rent free in my head for the past couple of months now, and I just wanted to get this out for the month of March because I wanted to do a heated rivalry build and put that out on the channel like as soon as I can, basically, because I just don't have anyone to talk to basically. And this build is pretty simple. It didn't take me that long to build and to furnish, so I saw no point in further delaying it when it was like just sitting there on my builds folder in the game. So yeah, here we are, and I gotta say I'm really happy with this build, even though it doesn't look like the cottage that they have in the show. I did try to build a more faithful recreation of Shane's cottage, but it didn't quite work out. I tried building it in GB Point. Actually, there's this water lot where the Sims version of Love Island was built. Tried building it there, but I wasn't happy with the end result. I might try doing it again with CC, but we'll see. I just ended up building this version, which looks nothing like the cottage that they have in the show, but I was really happy with it. And I actually moved my sim in here for my own personal gameplay and did a little bit of off the grid gameplay, and I've been really enjoying it so far. I will say that this build has a loft, and if you're planning on moving your sim in here, like the upper floor, it is technically considered like as an exterior space, so you might want to disable the temperature effects on Sims in the options menu if you want your Sims to live here and not like freeze to death or anything like that. I feel like the weather effects on Sims 4 Sims isn't as intense as it is back in the Sims 2 days, because I remember like back in the Sims 2, like you have to really like watch your Sims and like micromanage like what they're wearing and like even like what they're drinking, because I remember like you have to make your sim drink like warm drinks or like cool juices depending on like how intense the temperature is. It was really hard in the Sims 2, and I feel like Sims 4 is a little bit more lenient with that. It doesn't even feel like it's that difficult, to be honest, to keep your Sims alive in the Sims 4. But yeah, Sims 2, like what a great game. But yeah, this build actually ended up being quite a kit centric build. This was unintentional, I promise, but I did build this like way before the whole Sims 4 marketplace debacle. So basically, if you guys didn't know, they moved the kits to the marketplace, which makes you unable to purchase the kits with real life money. You're gonna have to use the virtual in-game currency that they have for the Sims 4 if you want to purchase the kits. And this is really frustrating because I don't know why they had to move the pre-existing kits to the marketplace. Like maybe if they have new releases, they can just list them on the marketplace, but I don't know why they have to like move the pre-existing kits. So that was really annoying because you'd have to purchase them with like their virtual currency. And my thing is that they also updated the game, which broke pretty much most of the CC. And I was in the process of making my own CC when this whole marketplace debacle happened. So I was stressing out because I gave myself the self-imposed deadline once again of putting out a CC set for the month of March. And I wasn't sure if I was gonna meet my deadline, so that was really stressful. I had to wait about a week to update my game just to make sure that everything was working properly. And the CC that I was making did break actually, which is really annoying because it wasn't generating like thumbnails properly, and the swatches were like all over the place. I was like so stressed out, but I think it's fine. I might have to look into some feedback that I get from it while we're in early access just to make sure that everything works properly. But yeah, hopefully, fingers crossed, everything works fine. I worked really hard on the CC and I'm really, really happy with how it ended up. I made like a historical bathroom set inspired by the toilets at the Palace of Versailles and the Petit Trianon, actually. And I've been posting previews of it because this whole CC situation came about because I'm currently like recreating a Petit Trianon build. This is actually my second time because the very first build I built for Sims 4 was the Petit Trianon. Because it's a simple build. You think it's simple because it's just a square building, right? So that was the very first build I did back when The Sims 4 first came out, and it's still up on the channel actually, believe it or not. Yeah, The Sims 4 has changed so much since then. I remember building it without move objects. Also, the lighting was like a lot worse, and obviously we have like limited content with like the furniture and even limited swatches because they have like retroactively updated like the base game items, and like it's definitely much better now. Even the lighting has changed. I remember like when Newcrest came out, that's when they updated the lighting so that we can have like this beautiful like volumetric lighting. I don't know if that's the right word to describe it, but if you see those like little like window effects with like the lighting shadows and stuff like that, that wasn't there before. That was just added retroactively to The Sims 4, like they've been doing for the past like however many years that The Sims 4 has been around. I don't know about you guys, but my game has been having some performance issues recently. Like I rotate the camera, and when it's facing like a busy area of the world map, it does stutter quite a bit. Maybe you guys also have this issue. Please let me know. I don't know what to do. Because I mean, I'm looking at like my computer specs and it does meet the Sims 4 requirements. And I do not want to like have to like, you know, reduce the graphics quality because, you know, the game runs fine for the most part. It's just, you know, a bit jarring when you rotate the camera and then it's like, you know, 5 FPS. So it's a bit surprising whenever it does that. But yeah, let me know if you guys have been experiencing some performance issues. I mean, I feel like every time they patch the game, this is a typical EA thing anyway. I feel like every time they patch the game, it just, you know, breaks something else, which is pretty annoying. So anyway, let's talk about Heated Rivalry, you know, the show that we all know and love, and the show that's been living rent-free in our brain for the past, like, I don't know how many months it's been since it came out. In my country, it came out like in December, but I'm pretty sure in some places it was out in like maybe October or November. So we've had quite a bit of time to like really process this whole situation, and I've been really enjoying this so far. I've never been this invested in a show since probably the first season of Bridgerton or like the first season of Heartstopper, because I'm looking back at the shows that inspired me to do builds in The Sims 4, and I remember doing a Regency inspired build when Bridgerton came out, or was it season 2 of Bridgerton actually? I feel like season 1 and season 2 of Bridgerton came out quite close to each other, even though it was like a year or two apart. But for some reason, it feels like it wasn't that long between the first and second season for some reason. But I also did like a Heartstopper inspired build as well. I really love that. And yeah, I love the LGBT shows that we have right now. I also really love Red, White, and Royal Blue, and I'm really excited for the next movie. I think they're gonna do like a royal wedding or something like that, which is pretty exciting. And yeah, I'm trying to think of like what else inspired me to. I mean, I did a Downton Abbey inspired build a very, very long time ago. I'm thinking of maybe revisiting that at some point. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. But yeah, I think those are like some of the more recent shows that inspired me to do builds in The Sims 4. And you know that I love a show when I do a build, when I do a dedicated build inspired by it. So, yeah, I actually met up with a friend a couple of weeks ago, and we tried to binge watch My Lady Jane. We ended up watching like 2 or 3 episodes. She loved it, and she's probably gonna watch it like on her own. But we also watched Rosaline as well, which kind of surprised me because I've never heard of it before until my friend brought it up. And we watched it and really enjoyed it. Actually, we kind of wish there was more of it though. Like, it's a movie, and yeah, we kind of wish there was more of it. It would have been great to see it as like a mini series or something, but you know, I'm just really spoiled like that for some reason. And yeah, this is a bit of a niche show, but we actually really love the Buccaneers. I remember binge watching the first season with my best friend, and I was actually planning on watching the second season with her when we met up, but she's already watched it, which is really funny. So I might just watch it myself at some point. But yeah, we really love the show for some reason. I guess it's really nostalgic for us because Leighton Meester's in it, and we grew up with like Gossip Girl and you know, stuff like that. So yeah, pretty nostalgic vibes there with the Buccaneers. Also, this show for some reason does a really good job of just like showcasing like the historical architecture, because if I'm not mistaken, they film in Scotland, and they have really good shots of like the historical architecture. Like, I'm not gonna lie, we don't even have this in Bridgerton anymore, because I think with the recent seasons they just recreated the exterior sets on like a soundstage or something, which is kind of sad because if you're filming in the UK with all of this historical architecture, like why wouldn't you like take advantage of that? Speaking of historical architecture though, now that I've seen like 4 seasons of Bridgerton, I gotta say that my favorite season would actually have to be Queen Charlotte. I know that's really surprising. Is it even a Bridgerton season? I don't know, but I actually rewatched Queen Charlotte for some reason while I was waiting for part 2 of season 4. I rewatched a little bit of Queen Charlotte and I really loved it. And I also noticed that they filmed in like real life locations as well. I feel like this is a thing that just adds to my enjoyment of like historical TV shows, because I mean with Downton Abbey, like Highclere Castle basically just is another character in and of itself. And with Queen Charlotte, I think they filmed in Blenheim Palace. And actually, I think in some earlier seasons of Bridgerton, they filmed in like Castle Howard, which is quite amazing because I think that's where Brideshead Revisited takes place in. And this is just coming back to me, but I think they recreated Castle Howard in Love Like a Prism, the anime that I spoke about in my previous build. Basically, this Japanese girl travels to the UK, and she tries to learn how to be an artist, basically. And I think the manor house that they had in that show was inspired by Castle Howard, which is pretty awesome because it's definitely like such a an imposing structure. So yeah, I like to geek out about architecture like that. If you guys don't know, I do love architectural history. That's why I like recreating like a lot of these like historical buildings on my channel. I do have quite a bit of them. We definitely need more though, I have to say. But yeah, I totally just rambled about random stuff in this video for some reason, but I just really want to quickly touch on the interior. So for the interior, I did go for like more of a modern vibe. And once again, it does make heavy use of kit items. And I don't know, I feel like they just add a level of quality that I don't see in EA items, and I feel like it was a good decision to, you know, get some CC creators to make content for the game. And right now I'm using the Sleek Bathroom Kit by Sibylette, which is pretty awesome. I'm pretty sure I also use like the modern, is it the Modern Retreat Kit? And like the Casanova Cave I used. Definitely for the outdoor furniture, I used the Riviera Retreat. I used like the Bistro kit for like the coffee machine in the kitchen. Oh, and this isn't a kit, but I also used like the Home Chef Hustle stuff pack as well. So there's that. And yeah, I'm really happy with how this build turned out. If I had the money, I would probably furnish my house like this. Like, I'm not gonna lie, because I just really like this style, and it's definitely inspired by Ilya's house in Heated Rivalry more so than Shane's house, because Shane's house had like more warm tone wood. Ilya's had like more just black and neutrals and kind of like the more minimalist furniture. And yeah, it's so beautiful. Like, I love the architecture in Heated Rivalry and just the whole presentation in general. Like, I want to say it's kind of like minimalist in a way, or like it doesn't feel overly produced. Like, there's a lot of scenes where it just lingers there and lets you appreciate the moment, which I love. And once again, it does a really good job at like showcasing the architecture. Even though it's like mostly modern architecture, it just looks really, really beautiful and crisp and really satisfying. Really great lighting and atmosphere, and really, really great show to watch visually. Definitely inspired me with my own personal projects. I might make a modern CC once I'm done with like all of the historical stuff. Yeah, keep an eye out for that as well. I just have way too many projects that I'm working on for some reason. It's actually pretty overwhelming, because I think once I'm done with like the European inspired CC, I'm definitely planning to go back to like my old Manila set, because I still have a couple of things that I wanna do. So yeah, also please keep an eye out for that as well. And actually, just a quick little side note, there's this one Tumblr item, I think it's from the Everyday Clutter Kit, and I just threw it in like the deck of this build just to give this place a little bit more personality. You know, I definitely can see Shane and Ilya living here. I don't know, maybe somebody who's more athletic or loves the outdoors. I can definitely see those kinds of people living in here. And yeah, I just threw in like a radiator on this roof loft area. I don't know if that even works like that. Some of you guys who live in like colder countries might want to educate me on that. But yeah, I just wanted to, you know, make it look like this whole thing was considered, and yeah, add a little bit of warmth and coziness to the loft area upstairs. And yeah, I think we are approaching the end of this build actually, so I'm gonna go ahead and wrap it up right here. So yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed this build. Thank you guys so much for watching. You all have an awesome day. Enjoy the rest of the video, and I will see you guys next time. Bye bye.